Jake, I'll kick off. You ever thought you'd play in 30-degree heat in June? In rugby in middle of June, normally it's freezing.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, when you play here in the northern suburbs, in the northern areas, obviously, you always play in the winter months. Although I have coached in France, and towards the back end of the French championships, you do play in summer months as well. So, yeah, the nice thing about it, Jan, is that sort of last year during the rugby season after COVID, we went right through Christmas, New Year in South Africa, so probably was lucky enough to play in weather like this, over our summer months as well. So yeah, but it's, obviously it's an exciting time for us, even though it's different weather conditions. It's nice for the boys to be overseas and play against someone else.
Jake, would that possibly change anything in terms of your approach? Obviously, during the summer months in South Africa, it was a bit difficult, and a lot of the teams kicked quite a bit, and we didn't see much attacking play. But certainly over Rainbow Cup and Preparation Cup, you guys in particular scored some wonderful tries. Could we expect a bit more attacking play as well?
Yeah, Ashok, I don't think that it was the weather that influenced the way we play. I think it was a reason that we'd only been together for a little while. I think you remember there was then that sort of request from SA Rugby and obviously Jacques and Rassie for us to create some more ball in time, ball in play time, and obviously less ball out of play time. And you saw the sort of effect of that having gone through the Preparation Cup into this Rainbow Cup. So I'm hoping, to be honest, that we could probably play with the same tempo and pace that we have against our South African rivals. I mean, I'm hoping that will be good enough to surprise this team. I mean, I'm talking about the Northern Hemisphere team. I mean, they have done really well. They're unbeaten, but if you consider that for the last sort of 6, 7, 8, 9 months, we've played the Sharks, the Stormers, the Lions, and then obviously in the Currie Cup we played the Pumas and the Cheetahs and Griquas. I mean, so we've really had probably a year of really tough South African derby rugby, and I'm hoping that sort of learning that we've put together as a group will help us against the Northern Hemisphere side like the Benetton Treviso.
Jake, Benetton isn't known to be a massive powerhouse. Are you perhaps surprised that you'll be facing them in the North versus South final, considering they were previous years they were labelled as the whipping boys of the competition? And then lastly, in terms of having the likes of the man next to you, how comforting having him in the environment and sharing his experience of playing in the Northern Hemisphere?
Well, Nathan, yeah. So I mean, when I say am I surprised, they're the only unbeaten side in this comp. They beat Connacht to beat Munster, and Munster beat Leinster. And I know you can't always work on that basis, but we know how strong Leinster is. And then Munster beat them for the first time in a long time. And after the high that Munster experienced by beating Leinster, they then went and lost to Connacht. And then Connacht lost to Benetton at home. And as it turns out, Benetton are playing at home. It's like a home fixture for them. They sleep in their own beds. We've had to travel. And as I said, there's obviously an added leg to the fact that we've got to adapt to that. But, it's fantastic for us. I think that it gives us an opportunity to judge ourselves against a Northern Hemisphere side that will play differently. Maybe they're not well known in the rugby Pro14 competition like the Leinsters and the Munsters and those teams, but still, they're at home. They've had the experience of playing against those good sides for the last couple of years as well. So as much as I said earlier, we've had some wonderful derbies. These group of players have played Munster and Leinster away in Ireland. These guys have played Glasgow in Scotland. So they would have had their fair share of playing at different venues against great players. And 11 of these players that are playing have started for Italy a couple of weeks back against Scotland. So they're international players. So, they will know that they're going to be playing, against another international quality team. And having Marcell, I mean, obviously he will speak for himself, but I said to him in the taxi today coming here, it's fantastic to have his experience. He played for Ulster at this venue. He's obviously experienced the Northern Hemisphere. He knows they came here with a really strong Ulster side and struggled to won by 3 points. So it's nice to have his experience to share with the players just on what we should expect when we come out tomorrow afternoon.
Thanks, Coach.
Jake, we've mentioned how nice it is for the players to get a different opposition. But how nice has it been for you to strategize and to devise tactics against a different team?
Yeah, again, it brings back a little bit of memories. I having coached in France and coached in the Challenge Cup, we would have played against a couple of Italian sides and obviously some other sides from Europe. So it's nice. It gives me a chance to have a look at a different sort of, I suppose, strategy package in terms of how we want to play against them. A lot of South Africans playing here, so when they're going to have something in their team that probably is similar to what we have as well. I'm talking about from a mental point of view. A guy like Cornel Els, who was a hooker for us just a couple of months back, played in the Currie Cup final, won the Currie Cup final with us. So obviously knows all our line-out calls, knows the way we play, probably knows how I talk to the players before and after games as well. So, yeah, I've had to probably think a little bit out of the box, Ken, just come up with a couple of new things. And as I said, just find ways in which we can maybe stimulate, a little bit of a different reaction when we run out against a team that probably we don't know as well as anyone else.
Jake, is that why Jan Eys is coming at number 5 lock? Jan Swanepoel has done quite well.
Yeah, so Ashok, Jan Eys played for Brief, played against, also in this competition, I'm talking about in the Northern competition, played in the Challenge Cup against Zebra here in Italy before, so he's been here with a touring side. He's 26 years old, 27 years old, a little bit older, probably a little bit more calm in these big games. And we played in the Currie Cup final as well, did really well for us when Sintu Manjesi got injured. So I just thought, it's nice to have his experience, especially in the team that we have now. It's probably a must-have this weekend, considering we don't have Dwayne, considering we don't have Mornay, considering we don't have Marku and Arnu Botha and those sort of guys. So, yeah, probably gives us a little bit more calmness from a senior point of view.
Jake, do you feel there's a bit of a weight of expectation on you guys this week? Are you feeling it at all?
Brendan, there's a weight of expectation with the Bulls team every time we run out. When I took over, even before we had played a game, I think the expectation from everybody that is a Bulls supporter expects us to do well. I suppose it's no different. I think, again, I suppose the only unique difference is that the whole of South Africa probably hoping that the Bulls can pull this off because it's good for South African rugby as well going into a Lion series. But, yeah, I've said it to you many times, Brendan, you've worked at the Bulls, you would understand the psyche. The expectation is always there, and that's part of what makes us want to play well, is that we know we have fans that are incredibly fanatical about our team, and they've, obviously fanatical and loyal supporters, and they would expect us to win, and that's part of, I suppose, why we get motivated, because we want to make sure we do well for them as well.
Jake, just following up on that, this week we saw the really big launch of the new United Rugby Championship. Do you also feel a little bit of responsibility that obviously this is the first look European rugby fans are getting at South African teams, and in a way you guys are going to show what they can expect when the South African teams arrive properly in September?
Yeah, Ken, it's no different to when we went into Super Rugby. People wanted to see how good we were against the Southern Hemisphere teams like New Zealand, Australia. Obviously everyone watches with interest, watches the Pro14 and watches the Viva Premiership as well as the French Championship. And now we're in that Northern Hemisphere competition. I think what you say is that it's going to be good for us to see whether we measure ourselves, where we see ourselves in the comp. But, you saw that launch of that United Rugby Championship. It's an opportunity to play in the Challenge Cup and the Champions Cup in the years to come, which means, it'd be wonderful to get your first foot in the door in terms of, we're just very lucky that we're the first team to get here and see firsthand and experience firsthand what it's going to be like to play in the Northern Hemisphere in summer against a team that are at home. They had this game being at a neutral venue, which I suppose it was supposed to be. No one expected Benetton to be here, but another added I suppose learning for us is that we're playing a home team at home, in a final, which is great for us.
Jacob, you noticed quite a big turnaround in terms of just the players' intensity and excitement. Obviously they would have played a lot of derbies back to back, going all the way back to last year, and not being able to travel. Now they've come to a new environment, obviously a final lots of different experiences for them.
Yeah, Craig, I mean, I must say, we've been working very hard on that. Took them on a bit of a boat cruise yesterday, went through a little island off Venice, you know, and spent some chilling time together, got them away from out of the hotel, you know, when they got on the aeroplane, some of them went, you know, they went via Amsterdam, also first time some of them probably went via Amsterdam. You know, I guess as I continually always say, Craig, they're young guys. I mean, you know, I'm getting a bit older now, and I think we forget how young some of them are. You know, 22, 23, 24 years old. Last week played in a must-win game in Durban, massive pressure. Next weekend, basically on an aeroplane going via Amsterdam into Venice. You know, so it's exciting. But and the nice thing is with that excitement, I suppose, comes a lot of energy, and I'm hoping that we can translate that energy into, you know, obviously a great performance tomorrow afternoon, because at the end of the day, we had to play rugby and we had to do our jobs, and our jobs are to play as well as we can when we run out.
Marcell, did anybody fall out of the boats?
Did anyone? Sorry?
Did any other guys fall out of a boat, perhaps?
Fall out the boat.
No, luckily no. That was very well disciplined, and luckily the coaches was worth to just keep it stable, you know. So no, it was an enjoyable trip and enjoyed it thoroughly. And as the coach says, you know, in these finals week, you know, you need a bit of a downtime just to reflect and realize how you got here and what your roots are, and just enjoy every moment, you know, because there is a blessing to be in a final, and that's one thing the boys are really looking forward to.
And just the heat, Marcell, obviously coming from South African winter now, so takes quite a bit to get used to.
Yeah, it is. This is my first time I've felt so much heat in Europe here, to be honest. You know, coming from Belfast is pretty much a cold place, you know. But yeah, look, there's no excuses at the end of the day. You know, if you want to be a champion, you have to adapt as quickly as can, and that's kind of the motto going into this week. You know, just focusing on the main thing staying the main thing, and just enjoying the process with it.
Marcell, sorry, you mentioned Belfast there. Sorry, I'm going to bring it up again. What are your reflections, obviously, on leaving Ulster, and if you could explain what it meant to be there and what it's like to be back in the Northern Hemisphere again so soon?
Yeah, look, it was an incredible experience for me and my wife, that 5 years, you know, rugby-wise and off-the-field-wise. You know, it was an opportunity to see the world, expand your horizons, and rugby-wise, you know, enjoyed it thoroughly. Obviously, the first 2 years didn't go as planned with the injuries and stuff, but the last 3 years you really enjoyed it thoroughly. The management and the players were superb, and we were building something special there and stuff, you know. But yeah, no, ultimately home came calling, and you realized you know, you just missed your country a lot, and the Bulls were very fortunate knocking on the door, and you know, it was an opportunity just to come back and just express your talent. Having been worked with under coach Jake White in 2014, you knew what to expect, and you know, it's class coaching at the moment, assisting management as well. It's just a great environment to be around there at the moment. Yeah, so no, 100%.
Marcell, from a player's perspective, and a guy that's, like Jake said, has been there, has been in that stadium, has been in that environment in Europe, what is the message that you'll give to your teammates, and what can they expect tomorrow? Yeah,
look, I think it's all about driving your emotion levels. You know, like Coach Jake mentioned, you know, we have a lot of young players, hasn't been exposed to environment, but luckily we are sitting with a team that has been playing finals, you know, and been winning as well, you know. So I think the temperament at the day, you know, it's going to come down who wants it most. And my simple message was today on the captains, just relax, take it calm, and enjoy it. Enjoy the journey, you know. There's going to be some dark places that's going to arise, but I'm sure the boys will be ready for that.
Jake, we spoke to Marcell earlier in the week about refereeing and perhaps different interpretations. Do you know who the referee is and what you're expecting in that regard?
Yeah, Ashok, we know the referee is. We've obviously done some homework on him. As a guy called Frank Murphy, played for Leicester Tigers as a scrum half, played for Connacht, comes from Munster. So he's been around for a bit. Yeah, and I think as a scrum half, I mean, he obviously understands the game as well. He's played at the high level. He's rated by the Pro14 group as one of the up-and-coming referees. Got some experienced guys on the touch as well. And having coached in the north and having coached obviously in Australia and Japan, I mean, you've just got to adapt to the way the referee, you know, interprets the game. And again, that's a fantastic opportunity for us because we want to play in this competition. We're going to get different kinds of referees. The one thing you've mentioned earlier, yes, we've played against the same sides for the last year and a half, or just a year and a little bit more. Played against not only the same sides, but played often with the same referees as well, whether it's Rasta or whether it's Jacob Paper or whether it's Marius van der Westhuizen or, obviously we haven't been too lucky in that we've had outside referees to blow our game. So, yeah, he'll be fine. I mean, he's a good referee. He's obviously experienced at this level. And part of what Marcell and I chatted to the players about is we're going to have to adapt, And if things aren't exactly the same as we've had them in our local competition, we're going to have to find ways in which we get the things that he wants right, And that's, again, part of the challenge we have as a group this week is not only the weather, not only playing away, not only playing against the team at home, is how good we are at adapting to the referee.
Marcell, hello. Just a quick question in there on tomorrow. How proud will you be to lead the Bulls out into a final? And it's been given that you've just returned and you've got back to playing again so quickly.
Yeah, I think it's a tremendous honor, first of all, just to play for the Bulls. It's a great union to be a part of. It's got a winning culture that speaks for itself. So every time you get the jersey, you want to do it justice. And to be handing the captaincy, leading them into a final, it's a pinch. You have to pinch yourself sometimes, but you're sitting with a good bunch of guys, management, players-wise. It's just phenomenal to be around with. And I think all in all, we're just looking forward to the opportunity for tomorrow.
Marcell, just on a personal note, in terms of your journey over the last few weeks, coming back from injury straight into the Bulls team, and although you weren't picked for the box, they've obviously been quite clear in their communication about wanting you to get some game time. Does that add quite a big motivation and incentive, just knowing what you've got to do in terms of national ambitions as well?
To be honest with you, since the announcement and all that stuff, my energy was purely focused being at the Blue Bulls, in the union, we had big targets to hit over the couple of weeks, and that was just the main emphasis, just to stay on the track and focus on what you can control, And I think once you make it about yourself, you sort of going to go the other way, It's about a team. The rugby is a team sport, it's a team environment, and you just want to be the guy that contributes wherever you can,
Marcell, just to say to you on that note as well, what would it mean for you to play for the Bulls against the Lions further down the track?
Yeah, look, the Lions comes to South Africa every 12 years, so whether it's in a Springbok jersey or in a Blue Bulls jersey, you just want the opportunity, and thank goodness I came to the Bulls, and it's going to be a phenomenal challenge and an experience, and if the opportunity presents itself. But I think every South African player at the moment, aspirations definitely to play against the Lions, so it's just a great tour for South African shores, and the tradition behind it, watching clips of the 09 series, it's just incredible how physical that rugby was and how people bought into the culture with that, so I think any piece you can get 100%.
It would be just one more for me. It'd be interesting if you came up against Ian Henderson again so soon after leaving Ulster.
Yeah, no, it's funny. We launched a photo of him and his kids with a British and Irish jersey, and I just had to text him saying, "Looking good, boy," and he just immediately responded saying, "Hey, we'll see you," So now it's a bit of banter, and we've got a great relationship and friendship, and I'm very proud that he made the squad, and giving him my support all the way.
Should we have a final two questions?
Just with Zako at open side, I think, and also Jacques van Rooyen, I take it he's your tight backup on the bench?
Yeah, Jacques, so I mean, look, Jacques van Rooyen's done unbelievably well. If you consider the couple, I think the week ago we scrummed on this weekend 7 guys. He was on the tight head side, he was on the loose head side. A couple of weeks ago at Newlands, 7 guys in the pack of forwards. He was on the tight head side, and we got a massive scrum from him as well. I think he's one of those guys, he's just adapted as he's got older. He can play both sides, and it helps us a massive amount. And then Ashfaq, Nizam, he's one of the captains of our squad, and he has played 6 for Province. I think he's done really well there as well. And there's nothing to stop, the way they complement each other. Marcell goes hard on the ball, then Nizam can go around the corner and carry, or vice versa. So, yeah, we just got to be clever about, which sort of plays we run and who's at which position when we want to try and attack in a different way. But, Nazam's a great rugby player. He's got the ball in his hands. In a game like this against the Italian sides, hopefully he'll get the ball many times and he can use the skills that he has.
Jake, we're aware that obviously with the current problems with the pandemic, the Rainbow Cup maybe didn't quite get the airing that it wanted to get with the crossover games and whatnot. But how important, firstly, is it that we are able to have a North v South final tomorrow? And looking ahead down the road, this is a precursor to what we're going to see, and I think the excitement's building again towards that.
Yeah, Richard, you just have to look at the Pro14 staff that are hanging around the hotel, obviously doing all their work and all the planning, and the CEOs there, and you can just see the excitement. They obviously over the moon that this game's managed to take place. You can imagine logistically what's had to go in behind the scenes from a quarantine point of view, vaccination point of view, finding a venue. Obviously today, photographs with the trophy and the two captains and the two coaches and all the hype that goes with it. Now, it's obviously extraordinary times because there's no supporters and, obviously it's not as big as it would like to be, as they would like it to be. But I can tell you, being in the inner sanctum here and getting the feeling, if this is a precursor, as you say, then it means really exciting times going forward. I mean, the announcement of the new competition and the new structure and the new name this week, has obviously been massive back in South Africa. And you said it earlier, Richard, the Lions are coming to South Africa. So, this is a great catalyst for everything. It's a catalyst for us to get into the Northern Hemisphere. It's a catalyst for us to talk a little bit about the Lions coming to our country. And as I said, it's a catalyst for the organisation committee. Charles and his team and Martin and his team have been outstanding. As I said, I can't tell you how excited they are, meeting the mayor and, being in the city centre of Treviso and just feeling, even in a small way, just how big this can become. And as I said, I'm just very fortunate we can be part of it.
Thank you.
Sorry, Marcell, if I could ask, just following up on that, I believe there's going to be a crowd of 1,500 at the final tomorrow. Probably not too many of them will be Bulls supporters, but would you rather have a crowd that sort of totally supports the opposition, or no crowd at all as a player?
Ken, I don't know if you know, but Vodacom flew out all 1,500 supporters in Vodacom kit. So,
yeah, look, at the end of the day, any fans are welcome, whether they're for you or against you, me personally as a player, you've really missed that emotion, sort of that gladiator feeling that you've missed being on the pitch, just a little sound here, there, and a bit of war there, it just creates that adrenaline as a player on the field, and I think, the players will welcome that, they'll adapt to that, and they'll enjoy it actually, so I think, that's incredible to have those fans here tomorrow.